Hey, what's going on? This is going to be a new thing where I kind of do daily vlog type deal things. Hopefully not too long, but basically, I am starting a sprint. And for those of you who don't know, a sprint is a period of time in the Scrum, pardon me, in the Scrum framework for organizing doing tasks for a project. I did something very similar a while back, but I didn't really document it as much. This time, I'm going to try to see if I can document it a little bit using these kind of daily vlogs. I don't know if I'm going to list them all, but this is going to be listed just to kind of inform you guys that I'm doing this. So as I'm talking, it is 12:02 on the 4th, Wednesday. I technically started my sprint yesterday, as in that's when I formulated everything. And now today, this is my first Scrum session. Now, just to be clear, Scrum is to be used mostly by a team of people. So normally you don't do Scrum solo, but I'm hoping that the framework will give me a really good solid base to work off of and kind of be productive, because I feel like I haven't been as productive recently. I feel like I've been going off and on and off and on. I don't really like it as much. So I'm hoping that this sort of initiative will advance me. And in case you think I sound weird, I am currently in my university. I'm in a room. No one else is here right now, but I figure I will talk a bit softer as a bit of a what's the word? Courtesy to anyone who might be around that I can't see them. So here is what I've got. This is the ClickUp. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that okay. I can't really tell. But this is the ClickUp I made for it. Now, if you recall, I do have a whiteboard at home, but since I can't really update that and keep track of it when I'm not home, I figure I can have this ClickUp, and then I can, sometime when I get a free moment, I can rearrange the board at home to more reflect what I'm doing with the sprint. So just kind of read it off to you. The sprint officially started yesterday, September 3rd, and is due October 3rd. So it's due. What does that mean? I plan to have something it's called an incremental, and what's it called? I forget the name, but it's an incremental progress report thing, incremental exportable, you can say, deliverable, where in a month I'll have something that is incrementally better than what I had the previous month, and I can track my progress that way. And the thing I want to get done this month is I want to finish the level that I'm working on. Have all the enemies set up, have all the hazards set up, have all the obstacles set up, and it might not be the final version, but I want to have a version out there. And that's the goal of this month. So to do that, I have created a bunch of tasks. You can see it right here. I suppose this is first session. I will go over the tasks. Actually, never mind. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to go through the ones that I plan to do for this week. Or not even this week, for today. So generally, the first thing that I'm going to be doing in these Scrum vlogs is going over a review of what I did the previous day, what I couldn't do, and what I plan to do in that day. But since I haven't done anything yet in terms of this framework, I'm just going to go over what I plan to do today. So actually I have a good chunk of time to do stuff. So I'm hoping that I can finish off this enemy called the Wood Eater Scout. And now, if you've been following the project for a while, you know what a wood eater is, but I'm gonna guess you haven't. So a wood eater is a kind of insect enemy. It's like a type of enemy that will be in the game. You can kind of consider them anteaters. I mean, not anteaters. You can kind of consider them termites but I made a more literal name just because I'm not creative. That's not true, but I just the first thing that came to mind is the Wood Eater, and it has stuck so far. So we'll see how far it sticks. But it's going to be a Scout variant, and the Scout variant is it flies around, and I want it to fly around, kind of orbit the player a little bit, not like a full circular orbit, but rather just like kind of hover around the player a little bit, and then attack periodically. And it's going to stay in a radius away from the player. But like you can still this enemy particularly will deal contact damage. So like if you don't manage the spacing away from it, you can get hurt. But it'll also have like a kind of dive attack that it'll do periodically on you, like a kind of quick swipe away sort of deal. I currently have it such that it flies around and follows you, but I'm going to try to get it so like that it stops when it hits a certain distance away from you, and then I want to try to hover around a little bit, about this radius. And again, I don't want to orbit it entirely, but I just want it to kind of stick around that area and kind of float around that area before it decides to attack you. And that's the kind of like the entire gist of it. I also want to have it like a land and have moments where you might be able to catch it by surprise, so to speak. But for now, that's out of scope. I just want to have the really basic functionality of this enemy down so I can continue on. And I also think I want to try my hand at the Wood Eater larva. Now, same thing. It's an enemy type of this kind, but this is like a baby. And it'll be really weak, but its shtick is that it's immobile and it has a ranged attack, so it's like a turret. And it should be really basic. It's just, though it's gonna be it's a little bit complex because I want its the thing it spits out at you to arc. I don't want it to be like a straight like. I might end up doing it just because I don't know how complex it'll be to make it arc, because I don't plan to use a rigid body because rigid bodies they're a bit too. I don't have as much control over rigid bodies as I want, so I probably am going to use a kinematic body and figure out some sort of trigonometry nonsense to try to make it arc in a way that hits the player in a reasonable chance. But we'll see how it goes. I haven't started, but that's what I want to do. And then finally, this is kind of a stretch goal for today. I also want to implement the Wood Eater Soldier. Now, the Soldier it's the biggest one of these guys. It's very armored, so you don't do much damage to it. You don't do much damage to it at a base, but if you dodge it when it attacks, specifically a charge attack, it can hit a wall and get stunned, and then when it's stunned, you can deal damage to it because it opens its back up in a very insectoid way. Like think like if you ever played Pikmin, the cannon beetle, how if you throw a Pikmin in its air pipe, it'll like overheat and show its soft backside, and then you can kill it. It's the same sort of concept. Though you can also induce that stun by using bash attacks. There's probably going to be some sort of combo that you can do, or some sort of specific way to use a bash attack to make it instantaneous. I haven't thought that far ahead yet, but for now, that's the kind of design I want to. Like the main way you're going to kill it is by dodging it. It's going to teach you that dodge basically, and then you can see that you can hit it in the back, and it's not as threatening if you do that. And those are the three things I'm going to try to do today. Again, the Soldier is more of like a bonus thing. If I can get it out of the way today, that'd be great. If not, it's not that big a deal. If I get 2 done in one day, that's really good. I might be setting myself up for failure by saying 2 in one day, because I'm like usually I don't do that much, but we'll see how it goes. And that'll be if I'm able to get all 3 done, I have completed all the enemies that I want to do, all the basic enemies, and I'll be well on my way to being on schedule, like ahead of schedule, honestly. And then tomorrow I will update you all on what I did today and how it went and what I plan to do tomorrow and the next day. And then hopefully this, like, my forecast of what I want to do will get more accurate with time. I don't expect this, like what I plan to do today to be totally accurate, because I honestly don't know how much work it's going to take to do these things. Like, I have an idea, but I don't have a solid grasp on it. So I hope that this is enough to kind of give you the picture. And I hope this video is kind of like informative in some way to some of you. Again, this is like kind of a Scrum. This is kind of like a solo Scrum meeting. Usually, in regular Scrum, you have a group and like they'll be talking about this stuff and having discussions. Hey guys, hours later, I'm finishing this recording. So I was interrupted earlier. Not a big deal. I was basically done anyway. But I just wanted to say thanks for watching. Thanks for getting this far in the video. And I hope it was informative in some way. Maybe informative to kind of like understand the whole like a Scrum framework a little bit. Maybe helps you kind of maybe give you a base to work off of if you're also starting this whole dev thing. Kind of have got a preview of how I think of various problems. In any case, I don't want to ramble too much. Thanks again for watching. If you think I'm doing cool stuff, Patreon, YouTube, you can subscribe, ring the bell, of course, etc., etc. We'll see how this little series goes. See ya.